Hello, moderators. Today we start back on the long run back to Altoona. Soon as our airline builds back up, we're gonna start trucking on east. As a certain YouTuber would say, power! And mind you, from a dead stop of 20 miles an hour at that short time. Creeping up to 25 miles an hour. Over 25 to 26. MY and MG. MG is mid-grade. MY, I forget where that's at. I want to say it's the next tower above here. That's AO. I want to say MY is a little ways up yet. You'd see NG. And these were the locations where the original tower stood. This is now all CTC controlled now. Current speed's 37 miles an hour. Excuse me. I have not even been out of this room other than to go grab something to eat. Or to hit the restroom. Other than that, I've pretty much been stationary. The speed limit we're on is 70, but that's because the downhill trains need to have a little bit of a buffer zone to cuff and take care of braking distance. It's like 3 miles of 70-mile-an-hour trackage, which may not sound a lot, but it really isn't. A little brake to bring us back under control. And we got the eyeball. This is train number 50 heading towards Altoona. Passing through Johnstown yards. There's a total of 3 yards in this area. One solely dedicated to the steel mill. You can see how rough of a ride these engines really were. Since we got a little bit of a grade and curvature is working for us, we'll use that as natural braking. And we're back down to speed, under our projected speed. But we still need power because we're going upgrade. We've just hit the 1% portion. One 1.2. And you can see we're only doing 33.6 mile an hour. Clear, stop, stop. So there's trains on either track ahead of us, and that in the block ahead of us, in this block and the other block. Which way is set up? You got passenger main, which is what we're on, and a freight main. Freight mains is because you have a lot of freight traffic. Although, depending on the type of cargo, sometimes the freight trains will also take the passenger mains. Like if it's an express mail or express piggyback, or even an express train period in general, it wouldn't be out of the norm to see them cruising up through here. Let's see what's coming up the grade. One of our counterparts. And you can see a good ways up. Now what we're going to do when we get to the 3% grade in other videos, will stop prior to it and do a controlled descent down that section. And there's a very good reason why I say controlled descent. You don't want to be ripping down that grade, because a 3% grade ain't nothing to joke with. Now you understand why a lot of engineers stuck their heads out. You get a little bit can see around the curve. So, you get a little bit better view of what's going on. And yes, you can do a 180 pan sticking out the window. You can even look down and see just how wide your engine is. And as you can see, right there is the edge of the ties, and there's the body. These engines were exact width of the track they ran on. Which the funny thing is, they had to be designed that way because back when most of this equipment was running, you were stuck with steam era tunnels and such. So these engines had to be designed to fit around those kind of tolerances. In case you're wondering, the throttle percentage right now, 38%, which is notch 3. Brakes are off, and we're just rolling on up the line. So once in a while you do have to drop the throttle a notch to slow it down a little bit, because we're at that about, once you hit 36% mile per hour, it'll trigger that overspeed, which is a lot of BS, because the way this game is set up, it's way too screwy on the scoring side. That's the reason why I'm not doing it. We're just doing standard scenarios. There's SO Tower, which is the South Fork one. And that's all you have to do to slow her down. It's actually, in real life, 36 mile an hour isn't really that bad. You need power to make it up a grade. There are additional route, because I have about 70% of the stuff to do this route in present day. There's just like one or two pieces I need to do it to make it to where we could actually do it. Mostly it's modern rolling stock, and if I had 2 more routes I could do the whole thing from Altoona to Johnstown with modern equipment. Which I will state for the record, the modern equipment air brake wise is a pain in the butt. The braking systems are nerve-wracking, to say the least. They are so finicky, it's not even funny. One of them I might try and do, if in the near future, is going to be Monongahela route, which is the Pennsylvania Coal District on Train Simulator, which is not really that far from here on this in the grand scheme on this game. It's just a few miles further south of Pittsburgh. And there are some really, really wicked curves along that stretch. When I say wicked, I mean wicked. I think we'll just go to SO. And I'll call this video. That way we keep these videos to about half hour so you guys don't fall into a coma, as Keith Appleton would say. That's another YouTuber I watch pretty frequently. He rebuilds model steam locomotives and steam engines. In fact, he's got 2 series right now. One on converting a hull class to the Hogwarts Castle, which actually, the Hogwarts steam engine in the movie was actually a hull class from the Great Western Railroad, aka GWR, for all you Henry Potter fans. Which that engine is still out there racking up miles. It was just modified for that movie, and they had to have special permits to have that engine at that platform so they could actually film that correctly. Yeah, needless to say, some of the British regulations are a little bit more of a pain. Most steam engines, if the boilers are up to date, they have no issues being out of the main line except for CSX. That's its own critter. But another reason why we're not seeing that many steam runs on the main lines right now, because all steam engines need to be re-equipped with positive train control, and they ain't cheap. Because some of the engines you're dealing with are over 100 years, or pushing 60, 70 years old, and they have to go for special permits to grandfather that in. Which the funny thing is, UP 844, 4014, and eventually when they get back to it, 3985 will have it. But the crazy thing is, the way UP has done the 844 and 4014, you will not be seeing a Johnson bar in the cab anymore. There's a new technology they found that automatically adjusts the steam percentages coming out, and it censors everything, and it controls how much steam's going to the cylinders, how much what kind of speed the engine's doing, the grade, and all that, and it automatically adjusts everything else. All you have to do is run it just like a diesel. It's amazing how far they've come. Whoa. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to get a little content out for you guys. Now, you can actually see just how close we are to the cars. And these are twin bay coal hoppers that were used at this time. The funny thing was, a lot of these cars still exist. Up in Scranton, there's a whole string of them they use in the yard. They're not allowed to be pulled out on excursions for obvious reasons, because you basically would have to take this entire car, flip it 180, rebuild the whole underframe, apply new brake gear, new trucks, or at least new axles with roller bearings. And it's a lot of work to restore a freight car, whereas passenger car you get faster return on investment. Because you figure the average axle's anywhere between 16 to 20K. Now, for a locomotive axle, you're looking at northwards of 50K or more. With the exception of steam, because all that is basically a modified freight axle. And those were steam engines were actually designed to be retired. When I say tired, that's the outer rim of the wheel that's designed to be replaced. .30-mile-an-hour zone in less than a half mile, so might as well just and there's the reason why. Sharp turn. One of these afternoons I'll finally get around to getting a replacement mic or mouse, because the scroll feature on this has a tendency of screwing up. And in case you're wondering, right about here is where I had the AI glitch. I had a head-on train. Yeah, we basically have what the railroaders call a cornfield meet. Instead of the engines being out here on the main, they'd be somewhere over there in the woods. Whereas out in the west, it pretty much was self-explanatory what happened there. We'll be coming around that bend when we come. We'll be coming around that bend when we come. And we're passing a couple Jeep 7s with train phone system antennae on the roofs, which was essentially your very earliest forms of radio we have today. That way the engineer could talk with the conductor and also talk with the dispatch. That's why Pensy was so far ahead of its time. Yeah. Here we go. Under control. Coming in South Fork. I think we'll stop right in this video at the Y. Because we'll be at roughly 35 minutes long at that point. Oh, great, the headache's coming back. As you guys can quite well imagine, I haven't hardly been feeling like doing anything. Westbound coal loads, more than likely coming out of the tipple. The funny thing is, I've rail fanned this area already in real life. It's a good weekend long rail fanning session. In fact, on my Facebook page, on the Glitz, on the original Glitzen tunnels, I've actually got a photo where I'm looking east, and getting to the east portal is a pain because you have to do some hiking to get to it. Letting the tower operator know we're in the block. And after that 45 zone, next one should be 60. But we're going to stop right below the tunnel. Signal bridge here off in the distance. Alright, Malwareers. Tomorrow I'll pick up where we left off here, depending on how I feel. But you now have an idea what it's like coming from Johnstown to South Fork on the Pensy Main Central Division line. So talk to you guys tonight during DIY and Digital's live stream, and I'll see. Hopefully talk to you guys tomorrow.